I'm your host, Darren Burrell.
And I'm your co-host, Patrick McIntyre.
We will explore the stories from our conscious collection of music, books, and film.
The ones that have shaped our lives.
Join us as we take a closer look at what remains. Hello and welcome back to Remainders, where we share the stories from our conscious collection of movies, books, and film. The stories, the sounds, and the characters that stay with you long after they've returned to the shelves. Today and throughout this ongoing 10-part season, we will be exploring the steps within the creative process, how the stories, sounds, and characters we love come to exist. Together, we'll be exploring the steps involved and the joy that comes with fully immersing yourself in creation. Our season is currently underway with the first 3 episodes. If you've missed these, you can go back and listen at any time on the podcatcher of your choosing. For me, there's no better way to revel in the present moment than when I'm involved in creation. Whatever the medium and whatever the purpose, our mind enters a deep focus when we create. Our worries soften and everything is in balance. An inner stillness washes over us like a blanket that has just been pulled out of the dryer. Soft, warm, and comforting. I mean, there's a reason your cats want to jump all over the laundry basket when the clothes are out of the dryer, right? To be connected to the present is to feel no anxiety or depression about the past or the future. To have no boredom or need to check our social media every minute or every second of the day. No thoughts about being good enough, no competition, no first place, no winner, no loser, and no fame and fortune. I touched on this briefly in regards to creation at the end of our last episode on pre-programming. There's a rhythm to the process once you find your flow. This is the addiction behind making art for me, when the project at hand starts to take form and everything connects in the most perfect way. Let's get underway and talk about some of the happiness waiting for us within our work. I gotta say, doing this has really made me understand why Bob Ross is always putting the word happy before little trees. It's just so much fun to create. It's so much fun to find your flow, that perfect period of happiness. We should offer ourselves up to fate. That sounds kind of silly when I say it, but I'm really just saying que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. Through the universe's infinite wisdom, we are swept along the path we were meant to take. It's pretty amazing to just let go. If you're like me, though, you might have a hard time taking your own advice, especially when it comes to creation. I have a bad habit of trying to control everything in my life. And just the past year, though, I've learned to loosen up, and it's really helped me to relax and let go of some of the anxiety that lies within the what if. If I didn't practice letting go, I would have never driven across the country last month to start a new chapter of my life in Los Angeles. I would have never been able to get out of my hometown to experience the amazing things life has brought to me. Letting go can really open us up to finding our rhythm. Not everything should be entirely left up to fate, though. It really is wise to plan out what you're going to do. I still subscribe to a plan. Even though the outcome isn't entirely up to us, we can make a plan to influence the work and give it the best chance to connect and communicate with an audience. Think about what the intention is. What are you trying to communicate? Who is the audience? Is your work part of a bigger plan or simply a statement? Do you want to display it? Where should it exist? All of these questions will help guide you in the process while still opening you up for some unpredictable and spontaneous excitement along the way. The moment it starts to click. It's hard to explain unless you've experienced this yourself. There's a time and a place in everything we create where what started as a little idea is now a fully formed and working piece of art. However we get to this place, this is where the really good stuff happens. From here, we can work without a care in the world. We start to see our creation come to life for the first time, and the energy and joy that is experienced during this time will carry you all the way to the finish line. Making mistakes. Some people have a fear of beginning a project due to thinking too far into the future. Have you ever said, yeah, but I'm going to make so many mistakes, or I'd love to do this, but I'm just not any good? Have those thoughts halted you from starting something that you would have otherwise been excited about? Well, here's the thing. Why is anything good? If it sparks some kind of emotion or thought inside someone, then it's on its way. There's no recipe for good art, and as we know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That's why we've got so many people working up content on social media these days. Anyone can be an artist, musician, designer, etc. But the trick is to make some quality art and not quantity. Unless, of course, you're a savvy business mind and you realize you can charge for the quantity once the quality has been established, kind of like Andy Warhol and Keith Haring did. The magic in a lot of what we create happens in the mistakes. I'm sure you hear this all the time, but it's true. If we make a few along the way, chances are it will help the piece more than hurt it, until you make too many, that is. And usually at that point, you know it's time to stop. Stepping away from the work. It's okay to stop. It's okay to step away. You'll know when it's time to take a breather, and you'll start to feel a bit of anxiety and panic set in. Walk away. Go eat lunch, go on a walk, take a nap, do anything but keep your mind in the work. I make the mistake of rushing through my art and my music all the time. I practice training myself to say, it's okay to take a break, Darren, whenever I feel myself working past the excitement. Sometimes it's as simple as sitting on the stoop to feel the sun on my face. It really, really, really helps. We'll get into this more when we talk about deadlines in next week's episode, but it's important to know when to rest. What's the point of making something if you don't put everything you have into it? That doesn't mean you work yourself silly. It means you put the best of yourself into it. You can't do that if you're working too fast to notice it's not connecting the way you intended it to. I found that following these steps whenever I'm working on art or music has opened me up to feeling good, truly feeling good. Maybe it'll do the same for you. Or maybe you have a few tips you'd like to share with me. I'd love to hear from you. This has been the 4th episode in our 10-part series on being joyfully present in the creative process. Thank you for listening to Remainders, and if you like this episode, we have a full first season you can consume on our website, remainderspod.com, as well as the first 3 episodes in this season. Next week, we'll be exploring deadlines. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you back here then.